I'm going to be ranking the best dark matter cards right now in NBA 2K23 My Team. We do have a tier list here ranking from S that goes all the way down to D tier, and we have every single dark matter on this list. So let me know in the comment section down below who are your guys' favorite dark matter cards, and let me know how many dark matters you guys currently have on your squad. And of course, let me know what you guys would change about my tier list. But first dark matter here is going to be Melo Ball. I would say he's probably dead smack in that B tier category. Maybe you could go up to A tier, and maybe we'll have to move around later in the video. But I think for now, B tier is pretty fair for this card. I mean, he's a good point guard, but he's nothing too crazy. Like, he's 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan. I think the biggest flaw for me is the fact that he moves like a center. If you guys have used this card, his movement really isn't great. Like, he just moves kind of slow and sluggish with the ball in his hands. He doesn't feel super quick like a lot of other point guards in the game, and jump shot's good, but it's nothing like, unbelievable. It's a great release, but it's only on quick timing. It's not like crazy fast or super easy to green. So for me, Melo Ball is still a really good card. He's in B tier. He's still maybe a top 20 dark matter in the game. I just think there are better dark matters in the game currently. Anthony Davis, I think, is that one tier below. Once again, not a bad card, just I think there's better dark matters in the game. His jump shot's a little bit slow and a little bit baited only on quick timing. He's got a super slow base and upper, and then dribble sigs are solid, but I just think that jump shot really hurts the card, and he's only a 6'10" power forward. So I feel like if you're going to be a little bit undersized at the 4, you need to have a really good jump shot, and Anthony Davis just unfortunately just didn't get that. Bill Russell, I think, is easily A tier. He's easily the best defender in the game. Is he a top 5 to 7 dark matter? I mean, it's close, because that's the way that I kind of do my S tiers. I like to have top 5 cards at that specific tier list, so top 5 dark matters in the game. Bill Russell is really close. I will say he's probably going to be the first or second guy off the top 5. I mean, he's 6'10" with a 7'4" wingspan. Literally is the best defender in the game. He's got perfect defensive stats, every Hall of Fame defensive badge in the game. He's got perfect tendencies for the defensive side of things. I mean, the card's ridiculous on the defensive end, and then even offensively, like, he's got a pretty good jump shot. He can move a little bit. He's got the D Mitch size up, Kobe escape, Dame behind the back, MJ dribble style, normal leaner, quick drops off one. So his animations are also really good. So it's not like this card just plays defense and then is going to be a liability on the offensive end. He's a really good offensive card as well. Looking at the next dark matter, I think Devin Booker is also in that A tier category. I do like him more than Melo Ball, and I will say it's not like the biggest difference between the cards. I think Booker's like a top 3 to 5 point guard in the game. Melo Ball is probably like 7, 8, or 9 in my opinion for the top 10 point guards in the game currently. So there's a tiny bit of a gap, but nothing too crazy. I mean, Booker's really good on the offensive end. He's definitely a better offensive card than LaMelo. His jump shot's better in my opinion, at least for me personally. I think his sigs are about the same. I mean, he moves a lot better, but if you're just looking at the dribble sigs, they're about the same. But yeah, movement wise, Devin Booker's a lot better. He just moves a lot quicker with the ball in his hands. And then defensively, I mean, he's got better defensive stats, and I'm pretty sure badges, or at least they're on the same level. So I mean, I just think Booker's a better offensive card than LaMelo, and they're about the same on the defensive end. Larry Bird is easily, not even close, is the worst dark matter in the game. I mean, I'm not going to go too much into it, but we all know one of the most underwhelming, disappointing cards probably in my team history, at least over the past couple years. I mean, this card was supposed to be amazing, or like at least we were hoping he would get an update by now. And my team just literally sold the bag with the trophy case dark matters. But Giannis, I would say, is B tier. I'm actually really high on the Giannis card. I know people like JC, they don't like the Giannis, and a lot of people maybe don't like Giannis as much as I do, but I still think he's a really good dark matter card. You could argue A tier because of his length, his player model, his athleticism, the animations he gets in game are unmatched. But I do think for me that jump shot really kills the card. I'm not like the biggest fan of the release, but I'm also like don't hate it, but I just hate how he steps in from the corners. But jump shot wise, I mean, it's okay, and he does make up for it with everything else he does. Chris Bosh, I think Chris Bosh is either high C tier or low B. I think he is better than Anthony Davis, not by a crazy margin. So I'm gonna go Chris Bosh and C tier for now. I do think Giannis and LaMelo are slightly better cards. Once again, you guys gotta remember all of these tiers, up and down are pretty much close. So B tier to C tier isn't like a huge difference, right? A to B tier isn't a huge difference. Now A to C tier might be a decent bit of a gap, or like S to B or S to C. Yeah, like that's where the gaps do become a little bit larger. But if it's only one tier away, it's not like a huge difference. I'm not saying Chris Bosh is a lot worse than Giannis. I'm not saying AD is a lot worse than Giannis. I just think Giannis and LaMelo are slightly better as a dark matter card. Cade, I think, is also in the A tier category, maybe even S tier. I'm gonna go Cade in A tier for now. I do think he's the best point guard in the game. There's cards like Jimmy Butler we'll talk about here in a second. I mean, you could still argue Booker, Melo Ball, all really good point guards, but I would personally take Cade because he's 6'8". He's got those front clutch animations, which is really good for not getting blocked going to the rim. And then I do like his jump shot more than a card like a Jimmy Butler. Now, Dev Booker's definitely got the better release out of pretty much all the point guards in the game, but defensively, I think Cade is really nice with that player model and being 6'8". Clyde Drexler, I think, is probably high B or low A. I'm gonna go high B for now. He might get moved up to A tier later in the video, but I do think for now he's gonna be in that B tier category. Dark Matter Dikembe, I feel like you gotta throw an S tier. I mean, he is one of the better big men in the game. If we're not counting Yao Ming because he's not a Dark Matter, I mean, you can make an argument he's the best Dark Matter center in the game. I do personally think he is. I like him more than Kareem, Kristaps, DRob. I do think he's a little bit better at the center position than those cards. Power forward, he's not maybe as good as those three names I just named, but I think at the center position, he's the best Dark Matter center in the game. So for now, Dikembe will be in that S tier category. DRob, I think, is very, very close to being in the S tier category, easily an A tier, like for sure. He's still one of the best big men in the game because of his size, his defense, his player model. I mean, he's 7'1" with a 7'5" wingspan. He's going to be really nice on the offensive end as well. 91 3 ball, 98 mid-range, 90 speed, 90 acceleration. Jump shot, I do wish it was on very quick timing. Sometimes I feel like his release is a tad bit too slow. So if it was on very quick, that would definitely help out a bit more, but still good offensively, can knock down threes. And we all know DRob is going to be an exceptionally good defender with almost every single Hall of Fame defensive badge in the game. I would say DRob is easily going to be somewhere in that A tier category. Dr. J, I just don't think you can put him higher than C tier. He's not a bad shooting guard. I think George Gerving is also in that C tier category. Who's better at the two between Gerving and Dr. J? Probably Gerving, but I don't think it's a massive difference. But yeah, the problem with Dr. J is his jump shots on normal timing. I mean, his stats and badges are still pretty good. Like if you look at George Gerving, sorry, not George Gerving. If you look at Dr. J, Julius Erving, I mean, he's 6'6", at the 2 spot, which is not bad. He's 6'11", or has a 6'11" wingspan, I should say. Stats wise are good, but they could obviously be better. I mean, he came out all the way back in, I don't know, I don't remember when he was available, but he was available pretty early on in the year. But the biggest thing is when you go to the animations, he's got no size up. His jump shot's on normal timing. He doesn't have the normal leaner. His dunk packages are really good, and that's probably the thing that saves the card, is the fact that he's still really good at going to the basket. But I mean, the card needs to get updated. If he had a jump shot on very quick timing, if he had the Steve Francis size up, the John Wall escape or the Trey escape, they gave him the normal leaner, they gave him the Dame behind the back, they maybe gave him front clutches. I mean, then we could be talking about one of the best shooting guards in the game. But it's just jump shot on normal timing. I just don't think I can put him higher than C tier. Tyler Hero also going to be in C. Not a bad Dark Matter by any means. It's just he's a little bit undersized for the point guard position at this time. Not undersized, but there's just taller point guards, even cards like Cade, LaMelo, he's an inch taller, he's an inch smaller than Booker, but he's also got a negative wingspan, and his defense really isn't that great in the game, and I'm not like the biggest fan of his jump shot, so I think Tyler Hero going to be in C tier. Grant Hill, I think, is very underrated at the 2 and the 3. I would say he's easily in that B tier category. I think at the 2, I would take Clyde Drexler over him, but at the 3, I mean, he's a very good 3-and-D small forward in the game. I think he's actually better at the small forward position. So Grant Hill will be in my B tier category. Jimmer Fredette, I mean, he's just got to go D tier. As much as I do think Jimmer is such a fun card to use, he's just 6'2" and plays no defense, and he's just going to get pushed around by all of the cards in the game. Like, his defensive stats might look pretty good, and you might think, oh, offensively, like, he's got all the best jump shot, all the best sigs, that type of stuff. I mean, he's 6'2". He's just going to get pushed under the rim by any card over 6'5". So even Tyler Hero, he's just going to push Jimmer Fredette out the way. I mean, any point guard on this list, LaMelo Ball, Cade, D-Book, they're just going to shove him out the way. So you can't even put him on a point guard. You can't put him on a shooting guard. He's just going to be a huge liability. For that reason, I think he's got to go in that D tier category. I mean, if you want to just have fun with the card, then I will agree. He's one of the most fun cards in the game, but if we're talking about the best Dark Matters, I just don't think you can put him higher than D tier. Jimmy Butler on the same tier as Booker, on the same tier as Cade. I think these are the 3 best point guards in the game, and I think they all deserve to be an A tier. Maybe one of them does go up into the S tier category, but for now, I do think they're all 3 of them are going to be an A. Kareem, I think, is also maybe an A or S tier card. I will keep him an A tier for now. I will say probably 2 of these cards so far will end up in the S tier category. Just going to keep him in A tier for now because not 100% sure where I do want to put them. Kobe Bryant, I think, is B. I think he's high B. I think him and Clyde are very, very similar at the shooting guard position. I do think Kobe is a really nice card and really fun to use. I just think there are better 2 guards in the game we'll talk about here in a second. Kristaps, for me, I think is in the S tier category. I think his ability to play the power forward position and still be really good there with his jump shot on very quick timing and has a really good release. And then he can also play at the 5 and be a really good stretch big. Dark Matter LeBron, same tier as Giannis. I've always thought they should both be on the same tier. I mean, they basically are the same card, and the fact that they get the crazy animations, even though their stats and badges and animations really aren't the best, but like the actual animations in game they get, whether it's like block shots, you know, driving to the rim, getting and one calls, you know, contesting shots, just overall running on the court, I do think they get some of the best animations in the game. So for me, I think they're both going to be in that B tier category. Moses Malone, I think he's down here in C tier with Anthony Davis, Chris Bosh. I mean, they're all very, very similar power forwards, and I would say they're all kind of on the same tier. Greg Oden, I think, is B tier. Now, he might not be high B tier. He might be somewhere in the middle to low B tier, but I still think this card's a really nice center. He plays really good defense in game. And if we're talking about Shaq, I think Shaq's also in B tier. I think him and Greg Oden are very, very similar. Greg Oden's the better... Is he the better defender? I'm not sure, because he does have a good player model as well. But I would say Shaq is probably the better defender. He's faster, you know, he's more athletic. He's probably better at finishing around the rim. But the thing with Greg Oden is he does all of that stuff as well at a really high level, but he's got a way better jump shot and a higher 3 ball. So I think both these cards deserve to be in that B tier category. Oscar, I think, is probably low B tier. I mean, you could even argue C. He's a good point guard, but there's just a lot better in the game, in my opinion. So Oscar going to be in the B tier category. Terry Dischinger, 1000% going to be an S. I think he might be the best card in the game, and I do think he's the best shooting guard. Him and T-Mac are really close, and we'll talk about that more here in a second. But I do think Terry Dischinger easily in the S tier category. Tim Duncan, just like Larry Bird, Dr. J, super outdated cards at this point in the year, especially Larry Bird and Tim Duncan. So both those guys got to go in D tier. T-Mac, easily S tier. I think him and Terry Dischinger are both the 1 and 2 best shooting guards in the game, 1A, 1B. It really does depend. So let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm very curious who you guys think is the best shooting guard in the game between Terry Dischinger and T-Mac. So let me know who you guys think is better. I personally think it's Terry, but definitely not by a huge margin. Dwayne Wade, I think, is C tier, maybe high C. His jump shot just slow, plays good defense, but the jump shot is really hard to time. I would take, you know, LaMelo, you know, even Oscar Robertson over a card like D Wade. So I think he's going to be in that C tier category. Worthy, I think, is probably B. I mean, he's one of the best cards in B tier, I will say. And then Lonzo, I think he's on the same tier as his brother LaMelo. So I think this is going to be my B tier. I mean, maybe you could move Worthy. You know what? I'm really high on Worthy. I'm going to move Worthy into A tier. I think he's a really nice small forward, and I do think he's just a better version of LeBron. And then now, guys, we do have to move one of these Dark Matter cards into the S tier category. So let me know in the comment section down below, out of all of these cards in A tier, which Dark Matter would you guys move up into S tier to round off my top 5 Dark Matters? I would say for me personally, it's going to be Cade. I know a lot of people would say Jimmy Butler. A lot of people would maybe say Kareem. I mean, actually, I think we go Kareem, right? I think we go Kareem. Actually, no, I'm gonna go Cade. You know what? I'm gonna go Cade. I do think Cade is a better card than Kareem. As much as crazy as that does sound, I do think these are gonna be my top 5 Dark Matters in the game. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my Dark Matter tier list, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.